Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2020 Polk County Youth Fair. We're about to get the Hawk Show started. We'd like to welcome each and every one of you as parents, guests, friends to the fair. Something that's unusual, a little bit different this year for the first time, we're going to be televising